Well, good happy morning, everybody. It is 6 a.m. July 5th. 6 a.m. and we are going scuba diving. Hopefully, weather looks good when I get to the dive shop. We'll find out a little bit more. They didn't cancel yesterday, so it's looking good. We're going out on a short dive today and gonna bring you guys along. Hopefully have some underwater footage for you. I'm trying my GoPro for the first time today, so enjoy the ride. Welcome to Freedom Wanderer. I'm Chuck McDonald, and I'm glad you are here with me. Gang, we are here at my favorite little dive shop in Myrtle's Inlet, Express Water Sports. About to check in. Looks like our dive is on. All right, from the dive shop, we have a little walk across the street to the inlet here at Myrtle's Inlet. If you come from Express Water Sports, when you check in, you'll walk across right through here, and we will end up at the dive boat. Short walk, maybe 125 yards total. They do have a truck, as you can see right there, that they will load up all your equipment, bring it across, put it on the boat for you. They are super good about that, which most dive shops are. I'm not trying to downplay any other. So we take a short walk across. As you can see, beautiful Myrtle's Inlet coming into view. 6:30 a.m. And here we go. Got to get in line, get checked in at the boat. There she is. There's the dive boat.
We've got Chelsea on board. She will be doing a program with her students. If you guys see them doing skills, anything unordinary, we do have instructor class going on. So please give them the space they need to be successful today, right? Steer clear of those students, give them the space that they need. I think Mariano on board, he's going to be assisting as well, one of our professional.
All right, let me get in the truck here. So an update for you guys. I did go scuba diving. I just got back to Express Water Sports, my favorite little place here in Myrtle's Inlet, South Carolina. And we had an emergency on the boat. So we did our first dive, and I was with a guy that was a new diver. So I left my GoPro behind to make sure I could pay attention and watch and help him fish and make sure we were safe. The visibility was kind of low, probably about 20 feet at best, but that was on the wreck, and it was very beautiful dive. We get on the boat and we're doing our safety stop we did our safety stop. We get on the boat. We're doing some top time to let our bodies decompress so that we can get back in the water. And we had one of our divers, an older guy, I think he was early 60s, had been throwing up all morning, really not feeling good, tried to dive, could not do it. They had to put him on oxygen, which means it is an emergency situation. We were 20 miles offshore, so we had to pack up and leave. So I didn't get to do my second dive, which I was going to use the GoPro on. So sorry about that, guys. So anyway, that's the update, and along with that, I got hit in the face with a bungee cord trying to put my tank back on, but you know what? It was a dive. I really enjoyed it. I love scuba diving. So I'm gonna head home now. I'm gonna clean up everything, and maybe this video, I have some shorter videos of us doing a dolphin cruise the other day with my grandkids. We'll kind of mix them together And I'll clean up everything, show you how I cleaned up, show you some of that video, because when you dive in salt water, you have to rinse your gear really good. So just got my tanks filled, loaded up. I'm sweating, it's hot. I'm about to head home, and we'll see you guys there. So I am filling my tub about half full of water. My BC, when it goes in, will kind of displace enough, and as you can tell, it has started raining really bad. So I've kind of got my dive gear laid out in the rain, letting the rain kind of do it for a little bit, and then we'll start washing things down, and then it quits raining just that fast. All right, so what I like to do with my regulator is I like to slosh it around real good in this good fresh clean water, and then we'll let that sit for about 5 or 10 minutes and just clean off real good. We'll do the same with my BC here in just a minute. raining really loud, but I wanted to show you how clear water really becomes really salty. So it's good to wash your gear. Dive tip, wash your gear. Alright, so as you can tell, it is still raining really hard, but I've got my stuff out drying. Tanks are still getting wet, but that's okay. Got stuff laid in dry spots. We're going to let it dry out for a couple hours, and I'm going to go get a shower. Okay guys, just want to make sure I was clear on everything. It's the next day. Today is Thursday, July 6th. My computer's booting up. That's that weird noise. Just got to thinking about it. I haven't really watched the prior videos yet to put it all together, but just wanted you guys to know the deal that went on yesterday. So yeah, we went diving. We went out to the Goldfinch, which is a local dive here in Myrtle Beach, in Myrtle's Inlet, Myrtle Beach area. And did our first dive, and I did not take the GoPro on the first dive because they said the visibility on the top 20 feet was really bad, and it was. Now down on the wreck, it wasn't too bad. It was about, we went through a thermocline, and if you're not a diver, that's just, you get into some colder water. And we were about 60 feet deep on the bottom. I'm a solo diver, so I was with someone I didn't know. We were kind of learning each other, so we were figuring out our dives together, and I was going to GoPro the second dive after I got my bearing. Okay, so we did our first dive. We come up on the boat. We're switching our gear over. We do 2 dives when you go charter diving like that. We were getting some top time. We were just relaxing, talking, hanging out. Well, there was a gentleman on the boat who was not having a good day. He'd been throwing up a good bit. They said we got in the water first, so we were early in the water. We didn't see what happened after we got in the water. And obviously he tried to get in, was struggling really bad, got back on the boat, was like struggling with feeling like he was going to pass out or faint. So in that situation, they had to pull out oxygen. And when they opened the oxygen container to give him oxygen, it became an emergency situation. They're not doctors and things like that or ER staff. These are very trained. All your dive companies are trained to handle these situations, but they knew we were 20 miles offshore, which was about an hour and a half ride back in. This wasn't anything to play with. Could he be having a heart attack, stroke, low blood pressure? All these things come into scenario, right? So we came back in. We did not get to do our second dive, which means I did not get to GoPro and video our second dive. So I have no underwater footage on this dive. So I took the opportunity to kind of go through how I clean things. And that's kind of what happened. It was, emergency response kind of met us about half a mile offshore, put an emergency response person on the boat as we finished our drive coming in to sip the guy. EMS was on scene when we arrived at the dock, and they put him on the gurney to take him to the hospital, and he was waving and talking to everybody, being real apologetic. Listen, things happen. Things happen. I mean, I had a bungee strap come loose and hit me in the eye. Things happen. And so, I told him, listen, we're glad you're here. It's okay. Things happen. So that's what happened on our dive. And so, listen, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Listen to me talk more than anything, it feels like. But we're going to be getting into some adventures this summer. So just hang tight. We're going to be getting you some underwater GoPro footage. If you're a diver joining our channel, thanks for coming. I try to explain things the way I was taught how to do them, and I was kind of raised by my uncle who was my instructor. And the way we do things, it doesn't mean that's the way it has to be. It's just these things are comfortable for me. It's how it works. These are the reasons why I do it. And I showed you me cleaning my gear, because when you dive in the ocean, salt water corrodes everything. We have to keep our dive gear clean and rinsed off and washed off. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me, listening to me talk a good bit on this video, but it is a dive video nonetheless. That's kind of how it works out. So love you guys, appreciate you. And to fill a little bit more time, I did take some video where I took the grandkids out for a dolphin cruise on Monday, which was July 3rd, and I got a little bit of video of that. I'll show you that now as an outro. So you guys hang with me. We'll see you again next week.